Second Cup, brought to you by the Nickel Plate. Sit, sip, savor, and shop. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Got a different co-anchor with me this morning. Might have to lower the chair, teens.
Sorry.
It's further down.
I was coming,
You're close.
then I forgot my
There you go.
clicker. So I had to run back in.
Hi.
Hi. This could
Happy
take a while,
Tuesday,
huh?
everybody. Yeah. Boy, it's a little bit nasty if you're headed out there right now, especially south of the city. But even in the city, it is cold. If you're with us right now, have you been outside yet today? Because you are going to want to bundle up.
Wind chills in the single digits here in Buffalo, below zero across the southern tier. Here in Buffalo, side streets are snow covered and a little bit slippery. We had some snow overnight, but it's not snowing. We have a few flurries in the forecast, but that snow is coming down well north and especially south of Buffalo. We're just looking at the cameras in Eden. Yeah. And that band has made its way into that Eden area.
You know what? While we're talking, maybe John can pull up some of those NITEC cameras and we can take a look at some of those. Yeah. I will say
57A and 58, Johnny.
57 and 58, Johnny. I'm going to say, you guys know I'm in North Buffalo, and I even noticed a difference. And we always talk about this, but I even noticed a difference from North Buffalo driving into downtown, like coming down these side streets here in the city. Not like we have a ton of snow, okay, like a couple inches, not even, I would say, but still.
Some cities would close, but we are just like, it's fine.
But still a difference between even where I live, which is a couple miles away, and downtown.
Yes, I know when I come in from the north towns, I get off on the Niagara Street exit, and I was like, oh, there's some snow. It was pretty slippery, so just heads up. As Melly says,
it's freezing.
With about 10 G's right there. Yeah, it is cold. And unfortunately, folks, it's going to get even colder next week. So the coldest air we've seen in quite some time is heading toward us next week. There's a view.
So that's a live look. Like if you're in the city right now and you're looking out, it's kind of clear. It's like, I don't want to say it's sunny, but it's kind of bright outside right now.
Yeah, so that's 50. That's Silver Creek.
Bit of a difference in Silver Creek.
Yeah. I noticed the truck goes by, and then a little bit afterward, the patch that he drove on is covered again. Yeah. So you're going kind of slowly. I did see some folks driving in that band with their flashers on. So it's that kind of snow right now. The band is intensifying, and it's going to be in this area through late this morning before it shifts further south as we get into this afternoon.
We're hitting our brake lights there.
Yeah, you don't need to be 5 feet away from someone.
Oh,
when it's snowing on the freeway. Just throwing it out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take care. We're going to keep an eye on those cameras, I think, throughout Second Cup because.
Yeah, I wanted to see if they're. That was one of the reasons I was kind of running around like a crazy person a little late.
So
see if there's anything new.
No advisories on NITEC minus this. NITEC does have a section of Kenmore Avenue. I sent this to the newsroom close because of a fire.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm assuming that the newsroom has it.
Yeah. So they do. It's between Montrose and Radcliffe, so that a chunk of Kenmore Avenue is closed right now because of a fire. We've got a photographer who's on the way there. If that ends up being something, we'll absolutely let you know. Let's see what everybody's saying here this morning. Connie says it's not snowing up in Lockport.
No,
Sherry,
it's just north of you in Lockport. So it's more toward Newfane and Wilson.
Bransonville, someone was saying today. Sherry says she's got her water drizzling to prevent freezing pipes.
Sure. There's no basement too, so Sherry's house is probably a little older, my guess. So yeah, if you have a house that the pipes tend to freeze when it gets this cold, then you'll have to do what Sherry is doing.
Drizzle those pipes, baby. You don't want a frozen one.
Yep.
Tracy says, is it supposed to be worse today into tomorrow? The weather warning goes till Thursday, and she feels like that's a long time.
Yeah, it is. So Southern Erie, Wyoming, Chautauqua, Cattaraugus counties, that warning does go until 4 a.m. on Thursday. And later today, the band is going to start to shift southward. Tomorrow, we'll have a northwesterly wind. So right now, we've got kind of one strong band. Tomorrow, we'll have multiple bands of snow coming in off of Lake Erie. So there'll be multiple bands. And the snow will really start to pile up along the Chautauqua Ridge and into extreme southern Erie County tomorrow.
And you were saying that Thursday morning might be tough for us in the city.
Thursday will be tough here in the city as that band shifts back northward, moving into the city on Thursday morning. I saw someone mention about Springville. Springville, you're in the area about 4 to 9 inches of additional snow today. So Springville is going to be one of the areas that gets the most snow. Travel along the 219 will be difficult.
Oh, Erie County Blotter says it's cold out there. Please remember, if you're cold, so are your pets. Please let them stay inside.
I'll appreciate that update, Erie. You know what? Sometimes certainly appreciate stuff like that because you do forget about.
Yeah.
You're trying to warn everybody about driving and everything else, but you're right. I see some dogs, they love it. I would imagine Bandit probably. No? Well, because you spoil him so much.
He prefers to be in his comfortable environment where it's toasty.
Okay.
Actually, my brother said the other day, the one thing I love about this dog, rude, was that the dog doesn't like to be outside. It's cold.
That's pretty
Other
cool.
than that, he thinks the dog's annoying. He
Oh,
doesn't.
he
doesn't.
loves that
Yeah,
dog.
he secretly loves him.
You know,
But he's like, the one good thing about this dog is he doesn't like to be outside in the cold.
Bandit likes
same.
to kiss people, though.
He does.
I believe it was this suit that I got Bandit slobber all over.
And you're welcome. Because that's a
I
nice,
had to
that's
go
a
get
nice
it.
little
Gave me
kiss.
a good excuse to get it dry cleaned.
A couple of people were wondering where Ed is. He's just editing some stuff. He's working on some stuff. He's probably like 100 feet away from us.
He's
in the
probably
newsroom.
dying to come out here and give
He's got his
views. Yes.
headphones on and he's doing stuff.
Typing away.
So he's got to be
Yeah.
focused today. He's working on that. Kim says Angola is getting it good right now.
Yeah, so that Angola Eden exit. Here's Dunkirk, Silver Creek, that area from northern Chautauqua, northern Cattaraugus, southern Erie, western and southwestern Wyoming counties. You folks are getting that snow at a pretty good clip. Shonda, we've got a foot by 3 p.m. yesterday in Hamburg. Well, thanks, Shonda, because that I was just looking at storm totals, and it did not. The highest amount I found was 11 inches in Alton. So now we're up to a foot in
Oh, boy.
Hamburg. So
Yeah.
thank you.
That's a lot of snow. I'll tell you what, the South towns have really, not like they don't always get it every single year, but like this year, especially we were saying Cassadaga, if you live in Cassadaga,
They're like a snow cap. Well, we
hope
talked.
you like snow.
We talked a lot about it in the fall, that this was going to be more of a normal winter. You had that El Nino transitioning to La Nina, and it does change the global weather pattern. And we're seeing some more breaks in that polar vortex coming down toward us. So we have a little burst of, we've had some cold snaps.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned, it's going to be even colder next week as the next snap heads toward us. So just be prepared. I mean, it's January in Western New York. This is what it's kind of supposed to be like, although temperatures are below normal, but we are coming up on the coldest time climatologically of the year.
Melly, real quick, by the art museum. Yeah, if you mean the Albright Knox,
AKG.
the AKG, no issues here. It's
No,
fine.
flurries, maybe
Yeah.
a little slick as you're walking in if some of the sidewalks aren't clear, but no problem. I have the radar up
Question
if you
from
want to see.
Tracy too, real quick, if you can get that.
Oh, 12.8% or 12.9.
I knew you'd know it right off the
Yeah,
top of your
12
head. What is
it was
it?
12.85, so you can.
How does that compare to like what it typically is?
You know what? A couple days ago, it was like 24%. And then there was a lot of
Really?
movement on the lake. So we're at 35 degrees. Most of the ice is on the other end. Normal temperature for this time is 34. So we're pretty close to where we should be. We're heading toward a cold week next week. Expect that ice to really start to accumulate on Lake Erie. It's starting to really cool off,
Okay.
obviously.
Lori also wants you to know where they are in Hamburg. They got about a half a foot. So maybe it
Okay.
depended on where you were.
See, again, yeah, that. Thank you. It
oh,
is.
and here's
so-
Shonda. Lori, I'm closer to the lake. Are you on the other side of town?
I love it. I love it. So yeah, you're right. So, and that's also the beauty and frustration of lake effect snow, where some towns could see 6 inches, some could see 12. You could be a couple miles away and there could be a huge difference. We see that a lot in the city of Buffalo, North Buffalo with an inch and South Buffalo with 12. So that's not uncommon to have different snow totals in even the same location.
You can tell why I like to live in North Buffalo versus
Yeah,
South Buffalo.
yeah.
I just like, for me, I don't mind the snow like as a whole, but it's the constant getting your car out of it and getting your driveway done. For me, that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if you like,
Especially with Paul's schedule, like sometimes he's not there, so sometimes it's me. You know what I mean? And
yeah, we don't want you out
no,
there.
I'm not doing it now.
You're going to
do it.
shovel. I'd only want you to shovel like half the driveway.
Well, there's two of us out shoveling. Yeah.
That's right.
Lynn says, Aaron, thank you for your updates yesterday.
Oh,
You
thanks.
helped my mom avoiding a lot of the congestion and accidents, and she lives in Hamburg.
Oh, well, you're very welcome. Appreciate that. We do try to keep you updated with the traffic and the weather. There's a lot going. I tell you, my mornings fly right by.
Yeah.
Like it's
We
it's
said
just a
the
lot.
same thing, Melly. Ed and I were talking about this yesterday. A lot of ice fishermen out.
What, like on Chautauqua Lake or something?
Like down here too,
Really?
in Buffalo. Yeah, like
I
just
haven't looked.
in one of the like harbor areas.
Oh, in the harbor? Sure. I mean, that ice is. Well, they know better.
Well,
than we
I
do.
was saying it's this whole conversation between me and Ed started with me saying my parents have a pond in their backyard and it's frozen. The kids were skating on it over the weekend.
Yes. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh my
Love
God, it was so cute.
Yeah.
My mom
Yeah.
was like, but they were like, look, does it make you think of like when you were a kid? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Like
it.
we used to go skating out there all the time.
Yeah. It's. I mean, someone's checking. It's thick enough, and yeah. So that you know that's. And there are a lot of ice fishermen out there. They like to get out there and do their fishing.
Yeah. Melly was saying small boat harbors where she saw them.
Okay, cool. Sometimes I'll see them along, like when you're going along the river by the 198 in that stretch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Send those, Melly, if you can. The canal right there. Yeah.
Yeah, by that
Will you
bridge.
send those pictures if you happen to have them, Melly? That'd be fun to kind of share.
And if we want to go to the radar, we can.
Jeff.
Oh my God, I said my bourbon. Yeah, I'm with you, Jeff.
Let's check the radar real quick, and then we'll chit chat about some other fun topics.
Okay, well, let's do this then. Here's the snow I was mentioning in the north towns. Someone said Lockport's not snowing, but like I mentioned, South Wilson, Ransomville, over toward Wilson, Alcott, Newfane, Somerset, Heartland, Appleton, getting that snow right now. And then here is in the darker shades of purple near Boston, over toward Holland, Sheldon, Arcade, Collins, Evans. That's where that heavier snow is at the moment. And it's just sneaking up now toward Hamburg. You saw Eden, that Eden Angola area where that snow is coming down. So it's going to continue to move northward a couple more miles and then start to settle further southward as we get toward this afternoon. So if you are traveling along 219, be careful. There is a fair amount of snow coming down, and visibilities will be greatly reduced. Thruway is snowy too.
Already sending me these pictures. You're the best,
Wow,
Melly.
these are
Thank you.
quick. You know how long that would take me?
Yeah, we do. That's why we didn't ask you to do it.
Oh, fun
you know, it's so
times.
cute. They're in there. I'm going to call them huts. They're not huts. Like whatever the ice
What else
fishermen
would you call them? What do ice fishermen
I don't know.
officially
They haven't-
call?
John, I'm going to send these to you an email super quick.
Put 'em in
Just
Slack.
because.
He loves that.
You know, but they're on my other phone. I have Slack on the other phone. So I'm going to stick them into email because it's just
I'll pretend
easier
I'm
at
doing
this
something too.
exact second. Okay, John's going to get those in his email, and then hopefully he can get them in and we can show you guys. Thank you, Melly, for sending those.
Thank you, Melly.
What did you ask? What do they call them? Yeah, I don't know. They're more
Igloos. They're
Paul's
not
got one that's
huts.
kind of like a tent. It's like
Okay.
a pop. It literally is like a pop-out tent thing.
Okay.
And he got it last year. His plan was to go ice fishing, and
Really?
yeah, he loves that kind of stuff.
I love being outside
He
too.
doesn't go as often though.
He seems like a guy who's got to move around a lot, though. You know,
Yeah,
he's got a lot of energy.
he's a doer. But you know, he's a combo between he wants to do and then he wants to chill. You know, so
Okay.
a little bit like he's
So like
got
put
both.
the tent together, dig the hole, throw it in there, and then just be like, all right. let's
Yeah, then crack a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure,
right,
for
love
sure.
it.
But last year, remember, like that part never really froze. Like they really had a hard time going ice fishing.
Last year was not going to freeze. Last year we only had 5 lake effect snow
Yeah.
events. So this year we are, making up for last year's super mild winter.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that is crazy.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
That is cool. Thanks for that picture, Mel. That is a neat picture.
Yeah, Melly, maybe we'll put that on air tomorrow too, because that really is cool.
Yeah. So that ice is going to stay,
Hut. Nita's calling them huts.
thick.
Yeah.
Today, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday, you're above freezing, and then Sunday for the Bills game, temperatures tumble, and then Monday is even colder.
Okay.
So if you're going to the game on Sunday, bundle up.
Bundle.
Yeah.
Um,
And I like the weather for the Bills as opposed to the Ravens.
I agree. I mean, I gotta tell you though, it's still cold even if you live here, you know?
Yes, but the Bills have played in it. They know what they're doing. I think that mentally, and they'll probably practice a little bit in it. I would if I were McDermott. Like, all right, this is what we're going to deal with on Sunday. Let's get out there today
Yeah.
and just kind of get a feel for it.
Yeah.
And then on game day, like when the Dolphins come here and you just see them all, they're like in 50 layers and they look like they don't want to be here. And Spencer Brown doesn't even have a long sleeve shirt on.
I know. I can't believe how some of these guys dress. I would be frozen.
Yeah, he's becoming my favorite Bill. One of them. Obviously,
But-
Josh Allen's number one.
They've got adrenaline going.
Yeah.
They can run over to the sidelines and warm up a little bit.
Yeah, and you got the person with the coat to put on real quickly, and I'm sure they've got like chicken broth on the sidelines. But those guys, I mean, they're a little more used to it, I think, than the Ravens. And not like Baltimore's some tropical paradise,
Yeah.
but it's milder than here. And I don't think Lamar performs as well in the cold. So we shall see.
Tracy says, well, let's freeze the Ravens. Chris, I wanted to know if there's going to be lake effect snow this weekend.
We're all getting some snow on Saturday. So it's what we call a synoptic event. Everyone. A little rain mixed in there too. Lake effect will start to develop later on Sunday, which could bring a few snow showers to the game.
Yeah, Melly's cracking up with Matt Collins.
Oh,
and
I
his
know.
bare
He'll come in
feet.
barefoot.
And Connie's saying she doesn't like seeing the players with the bare arms. It makes her cold just looking at them. I agree. Yeah. Okay, one thing really quick. I wanted to ask parents and grandparents, let's say, because I know any of us around little kids.
Okay.
Have you noticed a lot of sickness going around
Yes.
in the schools and in whatever? Because I actually just noticed on Facebook, and John's going to pull this up, Sisters Hospital. So this is not a forever changing policy, but they're temporarily changing their NICU visitation. So for the teeny little bitty babies,
Sure.
because of what's going around right now. They're
Yeah.
like, it's cold, it's flu, it's RSV. So they've got these temporary visitor restrictions right now. And the biggest thing is no visitors under the age of 12. And that includes siblings. So they couldn't go into the NICU
Wow.
right now.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You want to keep those little ones; they're the most vulnerable, healthy,
Yeah.
and your kids under 12, they're probably all sick.
Yeah.
And like
And-
even
and
your
isn't
teens
it-
are sick. They're all hanging out together, and they all get sick. Yeah,
We've been talking about this, and Ed and I kept meaning to bring it up on Second Cup. We kept being like, oh, we'll have to talk about sickness, and then we always get distracted talking about other stuff. But yeah, this is in response to the current community outbreak of RSV, COVID, and the flu. And I got to tell you, I know so many people who've been sick.
yes,
Like not just here at work, like my friends, people who've got kids. We talked about that norovirus too.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean,
How's it at your kids' school? Does he say a lot of people coming home sick or?
yeah, like a couple of his buddies were sick. Like
They're a
so
little bit
wasn't in
older.
school. Yeah. Do they? Yeah, like he's in his teens. Is he even going to notice? So yeah.
Melly says it's good because the cold is killing off the germs. Shonda says she is hacking this morning, feels like something in the chest. She's fighting it. Elizabeth says it's nuts. Someone is always sick between my kids and my nieces and my nephews.
Yeah, if you got the little ones, I definitely.
Lynn says there's so many respiratory infections and that stomach virus, it's been horrible. Her children's classes have been out sick too. Yeah, honestly.
That is.
Oh, wait. And then somebody else said, Lori saying Attica Elementary School had up in the hundreds of kids off of school sick.
Wow. I mean, how many, Lori, that's crazy because how many kids go to Attica Elementary? That's probably
Yeah.
a third of the school.
no
you
kidding.
know? Yeah.
Della says the flu, family and I got the shot in September. Granddaughter had the flu and she didn't get sick.
Oh, nice.
That's great. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Anthony says he's been on the couch with a fever. Anita, that's a good reminder. Just stay home if you don't feel well.
Yes.
Connie says she's been sick. She still has this lingering. Kathy, husband has pneumonia in the hospital for 20 days. Hopefully
Wow,
coming home
Kathy.
safe. Now pneumonia is another one they've been saying.
I've seen that too. Like a lot of, not a lot, but
Yeah.
Kathy here, I've seen, especially like on, just people posting on Facebook, like, oh, I've got pneumonia or so-and-so's got pneumonia. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I hope he's okay.
Oh,
Kids comes home today.
The quad sickness, COVID, flu, RSV, and stomach virus. Yeah, this stuff has just been going around. So that's changing at Sisters Hospital to just for those little tiny NICU patients. I mean, those guys are like little bitty babies.
Yeah, they're in there for a reason, so you don't want to get them sick. so,
Exactly.
yeah.
We've got to be really careful with that. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that just so you guys know. And I also think even if you're not going to Sisters Hospital and visiting the NICU, it just like kind of maybe it's that extra reminder of like
Oh, yeah.
wiping everything
And it's
down.
good too. If you're home and you're like, you have one of those 4
Yeah.
illnesses, really, work will get on without you. And you don't need to make everyone else sick. Like we feel like get some sickness going around.
You want to power through stuff sometimes,
Yeah.
but then you're like, you know what? I also don't want to be the person to come in and get
Yeah, I don't wanna be
take
that guy.
everybody else out.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And Ed and I really, we wipe down this desk a lot. Like I came in today, like he'll do it some days, I'll do it some days. He was already wiping it down. Like it's just because everybody touches.
We have a
everything,
box
you
of
know?
wipes in the weather center. So.
Roxanne says she and her husband have COVID right now. Lori says everybody wash your hands with soap and water. Robin says, yep, don't be kissing those babies. Lynn says so many patients have pneumonia and those after effects, that cough that just seems to linger forever.
Oh,
And
yeah, you hear
Rosemary
that.
saying, use your hand sanitizer. We keep this here.
Good.
That's a big bottle.
That was a big bottle.
It's
now
down
just
to
about
the nose.
empty. Yeah.
But we do. And then we keep this here too, because it's just like,
Well, especially with you, I mean, being pregnant, like if I were sick, last thing I'd want to do is be,
absolutely.
get you sick.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. Elizabeth says Lysol wipes are her best friend.
mhm.
Melly says stay sick, stay home. Oh, Amber, I'm sick now. Sore yesterday. Slept all day. Woke up still sick. Yeah, this is a little. Welcome
Yeah,
to
this is
January.
mid-January in Western New York, exactly. Plus, you probably all get together with your, family members over the holidays. And
Yep.
Maybe they were sick, and then it's kind of still with you. It's a bummer.
Yeah, Sarah says there's nothing worse than getting sick when you're pregnant. I had something in like October, and remember I was coughing. If you guys were with us, on
You
Second Cup,
coughed for like a month.
for a month. I was coughing for like 3 months.
Okay,
It's
you coughed
finally
for like
gone.
3 months.
I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it. It lingered, and they tell you like, oh, it happens sometimes because you can only take so much stuff, and you're being
Yeah,
careful
you
about
shouldn't really
whatever.
take anything. Yeah.
But oh my goodness,
Oh,
yeah,
boy. Well, you're better now.
yeah.
What are we talking? 2.5 weeks, maybe?
Maybe we're getting down to it.
Oh, I'm so
We're
excited.
getting down to it.
So what time should Ed and I come over? Should we bring a camera? What are we doing? knock, knock, knock.
Please do not bring the camera. Yeah.
Who is it?
Oh,
it's
good
Uncle Ed and Uncle Aaron.
Lord, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Pass.
Oh, man.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about. I wanted to pull up this story that I did today about finances. Okay, so
Isn't this like the most depressing time of the year when this is like where people get their bills for the holidays, isn't it? Don't they arrive in mid-January?
Well, let's be real.
One of those, it's like January 17th or something is the day you get your bills from the holidays, and it's like the most depressing day of the year. Or
Oh, I'm
something.
gonna have to look that one up because that'd be wow, what a fun price tracker for me to do. Hey, everybody, it's the most depressing day of the year.
Well, yeah. Well, you got your stories.
Everybody gets it.
I got to work in my book club story doing that.
Oh,
Yeah, did I talk
very
about
nice.
that?
No,
Oh, yeah. So I read a lot.
Yeah.
And I was told to
expand.
do more.
Oh.
So I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I have a hobby of reading.
You
So
gonna
we'll pass on my books. And maybe if you want to be a special guest, I'm going to use that new special room upstairs.
Cool.
Like podcaster
We're
room.
gonna talk about books
I am.
and reading.
Yeah.
I'm in.
So let me know what books you guys want me to read so we can have like a little book club.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be
seriously.
so
Yeah,
fun. I
yeah,
love it.
yeah.
All right. So here's what I want to talk about when it comes to saving money. And I thought this was kind of interesting. It turns out more and more people are becoming comfortable with asking for financial advice
Oh,
and getting
perfect.
financial advice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
More than half of all Americans sought personal financial advice in 2023.
Are we talking off the internet or
Okay,
with
so
an
there's
actual human?
different ways. Who's looking for the financial advice? Gen Z,
Okay.
millennials. They were the most, but everybody was. And then where are you looking for it? Okay, we all prefer to get advice from financial institutions like a bank or,
Oh.
you know, but younger generations say they'll take it from social media or AI.
That's fascinating.
If they do a quick search and they're like, how do I, you know what I mean? Let's say maybe they're like, cut down on my credit card bills.
So what's the millennial age right now? What is that lowest number?
Well, I'm a millennial and I'm one of the oldest.
So you're like what, 25?
Yes, correct. I would say a millennial, maybe they're
Because I'm
probably
wondering-
like, it's about 15 years. And I think I'm one of the oldest millennials. So it's like
It's like
early 40s, maybe there's
25 to 40-ish?
something like that
Okay.
in that general vicinity.
That's interesting because they, came out of, there was a lot of time of like, oh, free blank. And the older people would say, nothing's free. And I
Mhm.
wonder if they're like, okay, now I've got bills and stuff. Let's see how we can make these dollars stretch.
Yeah.
That's
So
interesting.
I have a question. So, okay, Jason says he's a millennial too, and he was born in 1982. So, question for the cuppies out there: are you guys comfortable asking for financial advice, and where do you go for it? Do you look it up yourself? Do you go to a financial planner? Do you go to a bank? Like, where do you go to ask about this stuff? And it turns out more and more of us are asking.
Yeah. I go to the library. I got some books on that.
You get some books.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And, I'm also a big fan of, people buying Bitcoin to hedge against inflation, but that's just me.
Lynn says right now, or sorry, like Melly was saying, she's in this group working full time. You just can't win. And then Lynn was saying here, she was listening to a podcast. They talk about 86% of the US has maxed out their credit cards, unable to pay back minimum payments. It's so crazy, especially with the interest rates. One of the younger girls I work with, her credit card's interest rate is 39%. You miss one of those payments, that's a lot of money.
That is a ton of money, especially if you have it maxed out and you're like, I got to pay the minimum or it's going to go another 40%. That is crazy. Hopefully she can work on her credit score and get
Mhm.
something that's lower than that.
Jeff says, don't buy a
Oh, we love that farm, Jeff.
Yeah. So I think it's
I go to Katie Morris, John.
Oh my gosh, that's because sometimes the kids in the newsroom make me so stressed out with the way that they spend their money.
Oh, I know. We have one in there who I'm like, oh my goodness, how do you live like
I
that?
know he's
So
stressed.
you and I are like that. Like I get
bad.
stressed on other people's. Like, I mean, I've just been like, I was frugal before it was cool, and
I was
yeah,
frugal.
yeah, and even now, like, I don't know. I
That's
am,
funny.
yeah, like, yeah.
I was frugal before I was cool. That's
No,
when you-
before it was cool.
Or before it was
I was
cool.
never
That's
cool,
funny.
so yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Shonda said she got zero credit card debt, finally turning the corner on paying off college loans as February. Cut out the frivolous stuff and you'll be surprised how much you can save.
Yes, Shonda. If you gave up your Starbucks every day, you'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm flush with cash.
Melly says $658 this month, missed last month's payment. Like, see, right? And then it just starts adding up.
Sorry, Melly. That's a lot.
Yeah, I'm sorry. These comments are moving so fast now. Julie says,
Yeah.
I'm good with what little I have. Pay your bills. Don't overspend.
I think that's the key, is to just self-control. It's so tough, though.
I love this comment too. I go to my dad for advice. I do too.
Yeah.
We'll get something in the mail or something I'm not sure about. I call my dad.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Peter just wants to know, Aaron, that you are cool.
Thanks, Peter.
Sure, Peter.
Don't tell Katie.
Marguerite really quickly was wondering about the baby, and a couple other people were asking. No, we don't know if it's a boy or a girl, and no, I don't have any predictions. I don't.
Well, you got a 50-50 chance.
We got a 50-50, but I don't have, I really don't feel one. Neither Paul nor I feel strongly one way or the other.
I feel strongly it's a boy. Yep. That's how I feel.
I
We'll
hear a lot of both sides. So we'll,
Again, you're flipping a coin, basically. You're not going to find out until
so the baby's
the
born.
moment, right?
Yeah.
Paul's got his catching glove. Is it
Paul's,
ready?
yeah. Please. No. All right, we're going to leave you here with this live look at the Thruway
that's
right now.
Silver
That's a
Creek,
90 at Silver Creek. So take care if you're out and driving. Aaron and I are going to be back on TV in just a second. He's tracking your forecast, and I'll have some more of your headlines. Thanks for joining us today, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.